Good morning. We're back at it. And my computer's fixed, surprisingly, if you can believe that. Yeah. Housekeeping. Good morning. Hey, Deb. What's up, Artwork Studios? Hello, Gun. Thanks for being a member. Good to see you. It has been a while since you've been early, but you're here, man. Whether you're early or not, all that matters is you're here, so good to see you, dude. Currently trying to make my visual novel longer. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're using that library, right? RinPy. Is that right? Sounds like a fun project. Visual novel. My kids are real into graphic novels right now. They love their graphic novels. They've got a couple series that they read all the books of, which I think is good, you know? I just want them to be reading. I don't really care so much what it is as long as they're reading every day. All right, I'm gonna create an event in Discord really quick. Copy, paste. Start time, I guess 4:20. Since we're already past 4:15, go to 7. Apply that. Okay. I think that's all the housekeeping stuff. We pinned the message. We made the Discord event. Oh, we should probably check to make sure we don't have any new members. We might need to update the member file since that's still a manual process. Come on, YouTube. Nope. Same number of members. I'm guessing we're going to have a bunch of members fall off whenever all those gifted subs run out. If I had to guess. But we've had a fun month with all our gifted subs. It's been pretty awesome. Oh, you used all your iCloud storage? That does suck. I am on a 2 terabyte plan, but I hear that there's a new 10 terabyte plan or something like that on iCloud. But I'm dreading the day when I have to. Excuse me. Five gigs, nice. Well, mine's 2 terabytes, so. Well, I guess you don't pay; you just use a free account. Steven, will you remove all the names then? Yeah. Yeah, the list will only show active members. What happens when someone stops being a member? Yeah, we'll just take them off that scrolling list. I mean, nothing bad happens. You know what I mean? It's just they just They no longer show up as a member on the channel. I mean, my membership really isn't. There aren't like a ton of perks with being a member. You know what I mean? It's like 99 cents, so there isn't a lot of It's more about people. If people want to show their support financially, they can. They don't. That's nobody. I don't expect anybody to, but I figured it was one of the easiest ways to make that possible for people to do. You should include bug. Yeah. I wonder if YouTube would approve that perk. Because every time I change the membership perks, I have to like submit it for approval to YouTube again. Which I have no idea how their approval process works. I don't know if it's automated or what, but that would be pretty funny for them to read that. Be like, this guy is giving people bug-free code? What? 99 cents. That can't be right. Alright. What are we doing today? We're going to do more Go today is what we're going to do. We're going to go. We're going to go. That's quite literally what's happening. Dude, I'm so glad my computer wasn't all fucked up. Excuse me. All right, day 4. Oh, I think this might be a breadth first or depth first search question. We're all hypocrites. Thanks for subbing, man. I love the username. We're all hypocrites. Isn't that the truth? Excuse me. What was this called? The Ceres search? This? I bet if Sogo was here, he'd say something like, "If you stop being a member, a Lovecraftian horror will come and bring you into the underworld." Try to scare people into being members. Good morning, Arvin. Good to see you again, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the stream. Oh wait, I can't stop yawning. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta get this caffeine in my bloodstream. At least we made it to another Monday, huh? Let's go. Day in of studying Minefield. That is spring. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot you're doing the Java thing. So, Arvin, I remember the other day when we talked, you told me that you were doing Java in Spring and you were trying to kind of speed run learning it a little bit because you needed to earn X dollars in X amount of time. Did you ever get that done? Bahra? Bahra Traj? Just come across your channel a few weeks back. Great content. Oh, thanks very much, man. I appreciate that. I'm glad you've enjoyed some of it. Selfishly, most of the content I make is just what I'm excited about at any given moment. But so when other people like it, I'm always a little surprised, you know. But I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Yeah, that's awesome. We have some other fellow chatters from India too. I think like 7% of my viewership comes from India, so very nice to meet another one. Power shoes. That's not selfish, Steven. That's sharing your passion. Well, yeah, but it's also like, you know, you see people who are like the content creators who are like, you know, they're actively trying to like educate, you know. or make they're purposely trying to make content for people to enjoy, and I'm just over here like, let me tell you about the latest .NET feature I'm excited about. All right. We've got our oranges peeled. We've got our caffeine. We've got our Neovim. For some reason, the Go language server is timing out. I don't know why. I've never had that issue before. Oh, it stopped. Maybe it just took a minute to start it. All right, let's figure out what we're supposed to do. Here. Example.txt. We'll also have an input.txt. Steven, I'm planning to go for upper junior mid-level roles with Spring. My plan is set in such a way I have like 1 month after my self-learning phase, otherwise I'll lose. I'm very tight on my time. I don't understand. What do you mean you'll lose? Ha! Bro, you're like, how old are you? You can't be much old. I mean, if you are older than me, it can't be by much, but you can't tell me that in 1 month you gotta get a job or you're gonna lose, man. Life is so long. Life is a marathon, my friend. We have like God willing. Oh, Steven, Arvid didn't tell you? What? What's happening? Is Arvin leaving the planet after a month or something? But hurrah. I landed my first senior full stack dev job 9 months ago. Before that, I was working as a security. I want to grow. I don't know which path should we take. DSA is most answered, but we cannot always do DSA. Well, first off, congratulations, man, on getting your first job. I'm sure that was a very exciting time. And I bet you've had a blast over the last 9 months. So that's awesome, dude. Or at least I'm hoping you're enjoying the last 9 months. And you aren't slowly realizing you want to go back to a security job. As far as like wanting to grow and not knowing which path to take, that's a tough question to answer, and only you can really answer it. It's, what do you want from your life? What do you want from your career? Like, I think there's a lot of people out there that can probably advise you on the steps to take, but you got to kind of have the goal in mind. Veds Improv. What's up, Veds? How are you? What are y'all up to? We're going to try to do a little bit of old admin of code using Go, is what the plan is today. Maybe work on a static web app static, I don't know why I keep calling it a web app. It's like a static site, but served from a Go web server, HTTP server. Overcoming my ADA. I don't know what ADAH stands for, because I have to earn money, lots of it. Bro, I don't know if I'd be studying Java Spring. If I had to earn a lot of money in a short amount of time, I'd probably find something to sell, and preferably something people want to buy, and then I'd find the people that want to buy it and sell it to them. How long does it take for you to solve one problem on the Advent? I don't know. It varies. Like last year, let me see. Last year, I think the longest, stream I did last year was like 8 hours, I want to say. Let me see. I uploaded all the lives I did last year to YouTube, because last year I streamed Advent of Code on Twitch. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. Goodness. Let's see. So this one took me 6 hours. 6 hours. Yeah, so like six hours was the longest one. And looks like the shortest stream I did was like 2 hours and 14 minutes. So yeah, I'm not terribly fast. I'm pretty slow. And add in chat to it, and my times might get even worse. Damn, that's a lot of time for each question. Yeah, but that's not really because the questions are difficult. That just is more of a reflection of my capability. Because some people solve them in like 30 minutes or less, you know? Like some people race. Steven, did you saw my comment about the race? My cousin earned some unknown amount, or possibly more. Oh, you and your cousin are racing to see who can make a salary race. Ah, okay. So like who can ever make the most be in a certain amount of time. I still think if I was in a salary race, I'd get a sales job. You know, find some job with like unlimited upside. Yeah, yeah. They're most of the people who solve it that quick are people who, um, like they're people who do this stuff all the time. You know, they're the elite code grinders. They're the codeathon, hackathon. You know, the people that are they've made it into like a hobby type of thing. Okay, so we have to do a word search. This word search allows words to be horizontal, vertical, diagonal, written backwards, or even overlapping other words. It's a little unusual, though, as you don't merely need to find one instance of Xmas, you need to find all of them. Here are a few ways Xmas might appear, where irrelevant characters have been applied with a dot. The actual word search will be full of letters instead. In this word search, Xmas occurs a total of 18 times. But where letters not involved in any Xmas have been replaced with a period. Take a look at the Little Elf's word search. How many times does Xmas appear? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is this is either a depth first search or a breadth first search question, because we basically need to explore all paths from every path, essentially, is what we need to do. So this is our example. And we want to put that over here, like so. And then we'll do import testing. Man, I really can't stop yawning this morning. GitHub.com/Stephen Freeborn /practice go / what was this called? Saris search. MLM equals multi-layer marketing. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think if my family was in a position where we needed a lot of money really quick, I would probably try to find a sales gig. I mean, obviously, preferably selling a product that you believe in, and obviously, preferable maybe even a product that you have familiarity with as a customer. But the thing about sales roles is most of them have kind of a much higher cap on what you can earn, right? Good for you, Artwork Studios. You'll have to share your story once you're done with it. Post it in the Discord in the projects channel. Selling cheap shampoo for 10x the price. Mayurk, have you learned Spring Boot? I'm just stuck in core Java. I have not written a line of Java before. I'm primarily a .NET and TypeScript person, but maybe next year is our Java year. I love coffee, so I kind of feel obligated to learn Java at some point, you know? Steven, see my chats above offer he rejected? Yeah, that sucks, dude. I don't know why he would reject a $1,500 offer. Although $1,500 after 5 months is not. I don't know. Money's hard when I talk to people that aren't in the United States because I think of everything in terms of like the cost of living in the US. So I don't really know what would be a good monthly salary outside of the US in other places, but it doesn't seem like a whole lot of money. Also, I don't know if I should open source or close source it. Whichever one you want to do, but I still think it'd be great for people to be able to read what you wrote, you know? I think you'd be surprised to find that people probably are interested in. If result does not equal expected, then we want to do T error F. Say got %D wanted %D. One sec. What code editor is this? It's Neovim. It's Neovim. Doesn't your back get tired? Mine has been sore for a whole day. What? What do you mean? What do you mean does your back get sore? You mean for like working at my desk, you mean? Why on Neovim if it is? Curious to know. Why Neovim? So for the last like 2 years, I've been watching the Primogen stream. I don't know if I'm sure you guys know who the Primogen is, right? Um, he's like a streamer. He's on YouTube. He's on Twitch, but he primarily writes code in Neovim. And for the last 2 years, I've always watched him and thought, man, that looks so much fun. That looks like so much fun. And so finally, at the beginning of this year, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to set up Neovim so that it's a valid alternative to VS Code. And here I am. But I bounce around. Like I'll use Neovim. But I also use VS Code. I'll use Visual Studio from time to time. You know, I'm pretty agnostic when it comes to a side in the editor war. You know, like I'm like Switzerland. I'll just use whatever I feel like using. Continuously sitting. Well, I don't continuously sit. I do sit while I'm streaming, but beyond that, I'm up throughout the day. You know, I have a pull-up bar right outside my office. I have a kettlebell in my office. I lift weights every day. I go outside and walk for long periods of time every day. So I do have a sedentary job, but I do my best to try to combat that with lots of activity throughout the day. But yes, sitting for long periods of time could definitely make you not feel so good. Mayurk, that's nice actually. Oh yeah, having a pull-up bar outside your office is fantastic. Steven, you were considering jumping on a yoga ball, don't you? No, I don't. I'll never do the yoga ball thing. I know that's what the Primogen does on his streams and when he works. It doesn't work for me, you know. It's the same. It's the same way. Like I have a standing desk. Like I've never like I don't think I've ever shown you this, but like I have a standing desk, which is wonderful. I love it. Uh, but I don't do any like difficult thinking work standing up. Not like answering emails, responding to Slack messages, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, anything else, I do sitting down. I think a yoga ball I'd find as equally as distracting. Arvin, LL, your screen rising. Yeah. Did you follow any tutorial to set Neovim? I checked out some videos on YT, 1 hour long video to set up Neovim. Too overwhelming. Well, well then what I'm going to share with you, you're not going to find particularly interesting either. But the course that finally convinced me, because my big hesitation with Neovim was, can I set up a debugger? Can I set up a test explorer? If you watch the Primogen, he doesn't really use a debugger much, right? And he doesn't really use like a test runner. He's very command line centric in his workflow and does a lot of printf debugging, which just isn't my workflow personally. So the series of videos I watched that finally convinced me though that I could do this was this course from Typecraft. It's called Neovim for Noobs. Fine. But it's let's see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos, and they're all about 20 minutes long. But I'll share this just in case you're interested. Good morning, Butterscotch. How are you, man? Good to see you again. So yeah, this was the playlist that was like, yeah, I can do this. So I kind of owe Typecraft. Also, you should go subscribe to his channel if you're not subscribed. He makes some really good content around Neovim, Linux, all that kind of stuff. All right, we need a function here. We're gonna call it solve part 1. It's gonna take the file path. It's gonna return an int. And then we need to do this. Solve part 1. Ceres search. our path to our file. Let's do copy path example .txt. What do you mean it can't copy path? There we go. I need to create a PowerShell function that's like copy path, but remove or replace forward slashes with backward slashes with forward slashes. Okay, so let's try to run that. This is gonna fail, but it should actually run. Got 0, but wanted 18. Cool. Now we actually need to implement a solution. Arvin, my man Steven, make yourself some herbal drinks. What's an herbal drink? Is that like tea? My herbal drink is coffee in an ember mug. Thanks for the playlist. Oh yeah, it's a good playlist, man. And I literally watched it all in one night. Like I was just laying in bed with my phone, you know, doing one of these bits, and watched them all, you know, in one night. And I was like, okay, tomorrow I begin my Neovim journey. I mean, obviously the thing with Neovim, also it may help you. My Neovim configs are here. I think that will bring them out, or maybe Neovim. I can't remember which one does it. I guess I should probably alias those commands, shouldn't I? I'm gonna do that right now. There we go. Great, but do you think that shifting to Neovim is a good idea? I use VS Code all the time at my work. I work with Next, Node, Express, Mongo, Stack. Well, that's a lovely stack. We love our what is that? Is that the Mern? That's like basically the Mern stack. We love our VS Code. Still, like I'll still use VS Code, you know. Butterscotch, you could do that in visual line mode. Yeah, I should probably figure out how to make my Vim feel a little stronger, shouldn't I? That's why you're here, Butterscotch. VS Code is lightweight and offers extensions that make development very easy, to be honest. Yeah, I think VS Code's great. I mean, the thing is people think, for whatever reason, developers are a weird bunch of people, because developers think that if you use one tool, you're saying you don't like or don't use another tool. And what I'm saying is I use Neovim and VS Code and Visual Studio and Writer. You know what I mean? I don't live in an either or world. I live in an and world, you know? You can learn multiple things and bounce around and use what you like on any given day based on vibes, which is kind of how I operate. Oh, Allie, the AI is here. This is such a weird account, but you know, I'm here for it. She engages in a very positive way, so if this is how somebody likes to spend their time, go for it. Arvin, coffee is bad for cold though. I meant like thyme, lavender, this sort of stuff. So you just put some lavender in a cup and pour hot water over it and drink it? Bahara and Eclipse. Well, I don't do anything with Java, so I do not use Eclipse. But I do use Rider. Good morning, Suhas. Good to see you, man. I love coffee when I code. Me too, man. I love coffee when I'm doing anything. Taking a walk, coffee. Lifting weights, coffee. Sitting and watching a football game, coffee. All right, let's think about the way to solve this. Coffee for you, coffee. Coffee? Yes. Why, yes. Would you like some coffee? Yes, I would. Sure. Please give me some more coffee. So we need to basically iterate through every character, and we know we're looking for Xmas, right? So we should stop whenever we find an X, right? Whenever we find an X, we should stop, and then we should pursue that direction, right? So we should go, because I think it said it can be, this word search allows words to be horizontal, vertical, diagonal, written backwards, or even overlapping other words. Yeah, so we need to basically go in every direction and continue to go in every direction as long as we find the right letters, right? So like from here, I would go, well, let's go up here actually. So from here, I would go left. Well, left is X, so don't need to go any further there. Here, I should go X to M. That's correct, so I keep going. M is not correct, so I stop. Yeah, so I think I need to do some sort of like, what is this? Is this breadth first search or is this depth first search? I'm not honestly certain. But basically, I need to keep adding potential places to visit. And then if I've already visited that place, I should bail out. All right, let's get my actual puzzle input too. Wow, this isn't scary at all. Copy. This one might actually take me a minute. And by a minute, I mean like several hours. %s, find and replace all backslash with a single forward slash globally. There you go. Yep, that would do it. I don't drink coffee, my dear. Tea is what I like. You don't drink coffee. What are you doing here, man? Bharat, espresso shots or instant coffee? I'll drink personally, I'll drink just about any coffee. You know, like some coffee is better than good coffee or bad coffee, in my opinion. But if I have my choice, then right now my choice of drink is called a it is called a long black. Is my choice of drink at the moment. It's an Australian thing. So basically, you start with hot water in a cup, and then you put 2 shots of espresso over the hot water. It's good. Did you work and YouTube is part-time, or are you just learning and sharing the journey? So I do work, yeah. So you can actually, if you type exclamation point LinkedIn, you can go connect with me on LinkedIn and read all about my professional history there if you like. Yeah, but I work full-time. So I work 40, 50-hour a week, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I mean, I'm lucky. My job is pretty... It's not that... My job is challenging, but I work for a really nice company that's pretty they treat you like an adult, right? So it's like, hey, we typically expect most people to work from like 8 to 5, but as long as you get your work done, that's what matters the most. So, but yeah, most of the time, my kids go to school about 8 o'clock, so that's when I start work, and then I usually wrap up work about 5 o'clock. And I just make YouTube because it's fun. I make content on the internet just because I enjoy doing it. If there comes a day where it becomes not enjoyable, then I will stop. But so far, in 8 years or 12 years of making content on the internet, that hasn't been the case. So we'll see. Network Bib, why is it that you stream way more now? Network Bib, man, that's a username I haven't seen in a long time. What do you mean way more now? I'm streaming about the same. I was streaming 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour over lunch, and I just changed to doing a couple hours very early in the morning. But hurrah, yeah, opposite to Americano. Yes, it is an opposite to an Americano. It is. Water to espresso ratio? I just eyeballed at the moment. I know there's probably some specific uh ratio of water, but I just eyeball it. Like I'll just put my cup in there, turn the water on. When I get like, I don't know, probably 2 to 4 ounces, I'm like good. And then I pull my shots. Ally VA, dump the coffee, pump the code, let's go. I love Ally VA. The best part about your shtick is that you're adding emojis into all your messages, which is very AI or very LLM. Guys, please make sure Steven doesn't kick the bucket because of caffeine overdose. Well, I drink far less caffeine now than I did 6 years ago, 9 years. I mean, when my kids were first born and I was working as a food scientist and running projects at that company, y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know. There was so much caffeine. In college too, there was so much caffeine. In college, okay, so this used to be my schedule. I know you guys care about this kind of stuff. This was my schedule in college, right? So uh my schedule is pretty crazy, but I had this crazy Tuesday, Wednesday schedule every week for like 2 years, 3 years. So every day on Tuesday, right? I'd wake up at like no, I had my first personal training client at the gym was at 7 o'clock, right? And I would now I look like pirate software, don't I? Here, let me. Well, I'm not gonna draw. I'm gonna type. So, so, my first. So this would be Tuesday, right? Tuesday, and then Wednesday. And basically every Tuesday and Wednesday, I would stay up for like 36 hours. So I'd wake up at like 7 o'clock in the morning. That's when my first personal training client was be at the. I had to be at the gym at 7. Then I would train people to like 9 a.m. Then I would do school from like 9 a.m. to like, I don't know, like lunchtime, 1 p.m. Then I'd go back to school like for labs and stuff, like 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Then come back to the gym like 4, maybe 5, 4 or 5 p.m. Then I would train people from like 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Every time oh god, I lost it all. Every time I talk about this, I still can't believe I did it. But I would wake up at like 7 o'clock in the morning, do all my normal school personal training stuff. Then I would go to the ER at 10 o'clock at night, and I would work an overnight shift from 10 to 7. No, 10 to 6 in the ER. So 6 o'clock Wednesday morning. Then Wednesday morning, I would do my personal training and school schedule all over again. Right? So it was like literally like 36 hours of waking. And I did that for almost 2 years straight. I'm guessing I'm gonna pay for that at some point in my life. But yeah. I'm today's version of Steven gets way more sleep and drinks far less caffeine. Ally the AI. Actually, it's LLMs. Could be one or multiple depending on the type of chat. Less coffee, more code. Damn, Ally the AI. Stop cracking the whip, dude. Good morning, Sam. Guys, is 350 lines of code okay? I don't think you should measure by lines. I don't think lines of code really matter. You know what I mean? I think what matters is like, did you solve the problem? Did you communicate what you wanted to communicate? But I think just looking at lines of code arbitrarily. All right. Time to solve this thing. Yeah? So I think the first thing we need to be able to do is we need to be able to walk the grid. Yeah? Like we need to be able to iterate over the grid. So let's go over here. And let's say function. Whoops, actually let's go down below. We'll say function walk grid. And this is going to take a grid, which is a slice of strings. So we'll do grid is equal to file dot read lines. We'll pass in the file path. And then let's just, for now, let's just call walk grid. Just letting you know, you, your subs, and the whole family are locked in for top tier battery pods once they add a few more. Ally VA takes care of her people. What? Top tier battery pods? What is that? Renee, I worked in the medical industry about 10 years ago. Fuck that. It does make you appreciate those guys and your sleep a lot more. Oh, for sure. That's actually something I tell people all the time, that like I'm so incredibly thankful that those people work those jobs. I don't want those jobs, but I'm so incredibly thankful that those people do those jobs. You know what I mean? All right. Okay, so now we're gonna basically have two for loops here, right? So we want to be able to go row column, right? Row column, or actually row column, column, right? We just want to be able to iterate over that grid without having to think about it more than once. So we'll do for I equals 0. I is less than the length of the grid. Yeah. Right? Because the length of the grid is how many rows there are, but then the length of one row is how many columns there are. So we'll do length of the grid I plus plus like this. Top tier battery pods are classified, but I'm here for the vibes. Keep crushing it. Well, I'm glad you're here, Ally the AI. Appreciate you. Also, good morning, Renee. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you being a member. What's up? Today we are solving a advent of code problem called, I think it's called Sarah's search. Yeah, Sarah's search. So we're basically like doing a crossword puzzle where we have to find all occurrences of Xmas in a jumble of words. So that's what we're basically doing. But we're using Go. So I've solved this problem once before in C#, but now I'm solving with Go. So I'm taking the same approach I took in C#, but I'm trying to implement it with Go, right? So this is kind of I think this is a good way to go about exploring a language, learning a language, right? You can kind of solve things you've already solved, but do it in the new language's way. Like yesterday, we learned all about regular expressions in Go, which I hadn't worked with, so that was good. Also, I'm going to rename these iterators. I'm going to call this row, 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 and then I'm going to call this one column. Column. Length of grid 0. Then we'll say column plus plus. So I think for now what we'll do is we'll just print .print line, and we can say grid row column like that, and let's run that test. Go test. So we should just see a bunch of characters get printed out. But these aren't characters. These appear to be ASCII values, maybe? I do not want to place it with a range, I don't think. Let's do const, not const, num of rows, length of grid, num of columns, length of grid, num of rows. Of columns. Oh, also, if you guys want to follow along, I am doing day. Oh, that actually looks a little cleaner. I like that. I'm doing day 4 of 2024 of admin of code. So if you guys wanted to take a stab at this yourselves, that's the problem we're doing. I just dropped by to show some love and leave a check mark. I'll be back again soon. See you, Allie the AI. Appreciate you. Allie the AI is a real person, but masquerades as an AI, and if that's how they like to hang out on YouTubes, you know, I'm gonna let them. I'm not gonna judge them too harshly. So how do we, I guess do we have to cast this to a string? Is that how we get the string representation? Yeah, okay. So you can see now we're just printing it all out in a line. But the point of being able to do that is so that we can start figuring out which ones we should walk, right? And we're basically only care about Xmas is what we care about. But we need to go in every direction. We need to go in every direction. So we probably want, what do we want? We probably want, well, let's imagine Ali's AI runs through OBS, captures the stream, links it to the AI software. A script makes it chat and react in real time. Basically, a chatbot with a personality. There's no way that that person actually does that. This is a human being. I saw Nespresso has coffee concentrate. I saw that in Vietnam at a couple of coffee shops. I mean, you could just forgo the coffee altogether and just get some caffeine pills, right? If you just deliver the drug of choice straight to the bloodstream. Hell, just get an IV at that point, right? I think I want to do something a little. I think I want to try to use some of my Go knowledge here. So, what if I did a grid like this, right? And what if I did a slice of string? And then what if I did this? What if I said, excuse me, this has a function. Also, imagine a few days later, Steven sees a video by a big YouTuber saying trolling small streamers with AI bots. That would be hilarious. Hilarious. So what if I do grid.walk? That work? I guess not, right? Because I probably need to like cast it to a grid. Like if I did grid, that would work. But I don't think I like it. All right, focus on the problem, Steven. Don't focus. I'm already trying to like make the code look pretty. Focus on the solution. Okay, so we have our grid. We're also going to need like a callback. So right, we're going to need a callback. So how do we define in Go, how do we say this function takes a function? How do we do that? Function Go function as parameter. So this would be our callback. Takes 2 ints and returns something. Doesn't even need to really return anything, does it? So let's go back to our code and say this takes a callback. We'll just call it CB callback. Do we have to say it's a function? Yeah, we have to say it's a function. Func takes an int. Actually, it takes a slice too. and it doesn't return anything. And then what we'll do is we'll say, okay, your callback will take in the current grid, the current row, and the current column, like that. Missing parameter type. Expected type found. What have I done wrong? I don't want it to return anything. I just want it to Gemini. I love Limp. Subscribe and like for bug-free code. Yep, do that. That's our thing. Renee, just add the other function in. I think you can do so natively. Yeah, I think I'm on the right path. I'm not sure I know the right syntax though. Gemini, let's see, go. Declare a function that accepts a callback function, and that function, or in that callback, accepts a slice of string and 2 ints, and returns nothing. Right, so this, like in C#, the equivalent to this in C# would be an action, like a delegate of type action. I should have probably used 2.5 Flash. Did I just type the signature wrong? Oh, I did. I typed it like a TypeScript type. There we go. So this now is going to pass our grid, and then we're going to pass in our callback. So this is going to be type that as G. This will be row. We'll just do R and C. So then we can we basically, this allows us to have the same code that we just had, but now the caller can provide the implementation of what they want to do with the grid when we walk it. So in this case, we're just going to print for now, but in a second, we're going to start checking things for Xmas's. Wonderful. It's the same code. It's the same code, just written in a different way. So what do we need to do with the characters, right? So if we're at an X, it needs to become a candidate. Yeah. So let's do if, or actually, hold on, let's do current character, right? Yeah, current character equals G at row at C. Oh, and we also need to make this into a string. So if we're looking for Xmas's, right? These problems make me have to think really, really hard. Have a good day in Artwork Studios. I'll be here trying to unstick myself. So I know I need to have a direction, right? So I definitely know that. I need to be able to say type direction struct uh let's say this is move X, or I guess maybe we just do X and Y. Y. And then we're going to want var, and we're going to want up, down, left, right. And then we're going to want up to the left, up to the right, down to the left, down to the right. So those are all the directions we can look. How do I, and then I can say like that. So in this case, it would be X 0, Y 1. Is that how you do? I don't honestly, every time I declare a variable in Go, I wonder if I'm doing it correctly. To be completely honest. So down would be the inverse, right? So we're going to move, we're not going to move any on the x-axis, but we're going to go -1. Oh, this shouldn't be a string either. This should be an integer. So left would be -1, right? So we're going this way, and then we're going none here. Right would be a +1 and 0 in the y direction. Now up and to the left would be up and to the left. Actually, these are flipped. So up would be going, since we're walking our grid from the top down, up was actually subtracting 1 off our row index. Which means down is actually adding a y. So up and to the left would be -1 and -1. Up and to the right would be 1 and -1. And then down to the left would be -1 and +1, and then down to the right would be +1, +1. So those will be all the directions we can move in. So I think if the current character isn't an X, we should move on, right? Because an Xmas always has to start with an X. Am I thinking about that right, or am I thinking about that wrong? Let's just try it. So do I understand? I don't feel like I understand the problem. Here's the same word search again, but where the letters not involved in any Xmas have been replaced with a star. So Xmas, so that's diagonal. So you got here, then you have here. This is backwards. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is a situation where I have to add these to like some sort of queue and then process that queue of potential candidates. Tyler, what made you decide to learn this language? I don't really have a good answer, honestly, Tyler. I wish I had a more intellectual answer. I, the real motivation was I wanted to do admin of code this year, but I didn't want to do it in C#. I wanted to do it in a language not C#. And then at some point, Go came up during a stream, and then we just picked it. It's like, okay, we'll do admin code and Go. And here we are. Okay, so if if current character does not equal X, I think they're all capitals. I think we can just return. Yeah, they're capitals, right? So if we're here, if we're in, we don't need to look any further. If we're here, we're here. Now, if we're on X, okay, great. We found what could be the beginning. Now we need to look in each direction. To verify if we want to keep moving in that direction. So X isn't valid. That isn't a potential X miss. XM is, but then it's not down here. All right, I think I have to go get more coffee because I'm thoroughly stumped at the moment. All right, I'm gonna get coffee and maybe my brain will figure out how to make sense of this. As you guys can tell, Advent of Code this year is going to be very fun if you hang out with me because it's going to be very slow and very painstaking. Is Steven sleeping on the keyboard? No, I promise I'm not sleeping. I'm just, my brain is broken by trying to think through this. Like I said, I've told you guys, I'm not the most capable programmer. How do I make this bigger? There we go. All right, I'm going to walk away for a second. I'm going to mute myself. When I come back, if I'm still muted when I start talking, just let me know. Steven, what are you planning for January? I have no idea, man. I have not thought beyond getting through Go and not falling apart in the middle of it. All right, I'll be right back. I'm here. I'm here. Don't worry. Don't worry, Horror Studios. I'm back. I did not run away. Hey, what's up, Pablo? Good to see you, man. We're currently struggling our way through an advent of code problem. You would likely be able to solve it pretty quickly. That coffee machine is taking some time, yeah. Zahir Levi? I think is how you say your username. Good to see you. I like your profile picture. It really stands out. How'd you do that? Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like the style of profile picture you have. It really makes the it really makes your image pop. I just did one single shot of espresso then. We are doing 2024 day 4. It's like a word search problem. Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see. So far this is the only code I have. At this point all I can do is I can walk over the grid and print the current character. uh, I'm trying to keep myself. I know I solved this problem last year, so I'm trying to keep myself from like looking at my old solution. Wow, that's a lot. I know, right? You really know. Hey, good to see you, Gun High. So yeah, this is all I have at this point. So I think last year I solved this by using some sort of heuristic about something about only looking at letter A's and then only looking to see if there was characters in specific diagonal directions, if I remember right. I did something like that last year. But I don't remember why I did that or why that made sense. Yeah, Network Bib was here earlier. He left a comment, but I don't think we ever heard from him again. Yeah, grab the X and scan each direction for the next 3 characters. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm having a hard time thinking about how I implement it. So I know I have X. If I have X, you're on the right track. So I know if I have X, then I just need to look and see, okay, is there an M in any of these directions, right? Because it can be diagonal too, that's the other thing. Alright, so stop trying to get this all right in one go. This is where I kind of fall down on solving problems like this. Yeah, you have one loop per X, one per direction. then one that goes from 1 to 3 multiplied by direction. How many rows and columns? This is where conditional modulos might help. Oh man, you guys are definitely smarter than me because I'm just not thinking like that. Like the way I'm thinking about it is if I have an X, I need to find any place where there's an M around the X. Is what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking, okay, for every direction, which I guess I can also have a like a lists of directions array. I guess I could have up here. Directions. Up, down, left, right. Whoops. Oh. This doesn't feel like what I did last year, but I'm just trying to actually make some progress and not just stare at the screen. So for direction, range of yeah, but then you need to look for the characters on the same direction. Oh, so I think... Okay, so I think I see what you mean, Pablo. So, for each direction, we just... Basically, for each direction, we know it needs to be MAS. Is this like a word search? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But it's... In this case, we're just looking for one specific word. In this case, we're looking for... we're looking for Xmas. By the way, the direction constants are so useful in AOC, you can make a module out of it. Ah, that's a good idea. Yeah, because there's a lot of grids. So I think if I follow my train of thought here, let's just see. So the next character is going, or let's say next character I could probably have a struct of like, I could probably have a position struct or something, but I'm just going to say next character X is going to be equal to, it's going to be equal to the current row, right? Plus direction.x. So that's going to move us up and down. And then, no, Y. Y is going to move us up and down in our grid. And then, so this would actually be next character row. This would be next character column. This would be so C plus direction X. And then we can say, I know this is ugly. I know. Next character equals grid. Next character row. Next character column. Like that. Also, I'm going to rename these to just NCR, NCC. So at this point, we need to know if next character is not an M, we can basically continue. So let's actually do, if this equals X, and if this equals M, this is like what Pablo said, where if this is true, then we want to make sure that the next two characters are A and S in that same direction. The thing about this is this is not very this isn't a general solution. Like if they give me a different word, which is I think what they do in part 2, it's not gonna work. So I think we do I. Well, at this point, why are we checking each individual character? At this point, we can just check the next 3 places in that direction, right? Yeah. Part 2 is wildly different. Oh boy. Well, that's fun. Steven, who was your first subscriber? I have no idea. I'd have to go back and check on this channel. It was probably a family member. Just Terminal. Did you use WSL? I do use WSL. Yeah, I like WSL. I use Ubuntu for WSL. I know people have lots of feelings about that, but yeah, I don't use it a ton. You know, honestly, I most of the time if I need to do something in the Linux world, I'll usually just SSH into one of my Ubuntu servers, like one of my VPSs. But yeah, WSL is good. Careful with out of range. Oh, that's a good point too. I think though I'm probably okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking what I can do is actually I can do this. So I could say for character range over MAS, right? And so I could say or maybe I want these to be inverted. Yeah, I think I want this to be the other way. So let's just say if your current character is not, I'm trying to remove some of the indentation here. If the current character is not X, just return. We'll look at it later. So we'll say for character range over MAF. And I think we can actually use the I. So this would be 0, 1, 2. So then we could say something like for direction range over directions, and we basically want to say character to check is going to equal some position CT, we're going to call it CTC row, CTC column. And then we're going to say if character to check does not equal the character we're currently looking for, return. Right? And then we probably need to keep track of like a total. And then if we get through all characters, in a specific direction, or should this be the other way around? Dang, stream is long today. This is about how long we stream every day. It seems like the last month and a half or so, we've been streaming for about 2.5 hours. Upgrading to Windows 11 broke all my Explorer shortcuts to WSL. That sucks. How did you get the special does not equal sign? That's a ligature. Certain fonts support it. I'm using a nerd font called Cascadia. Actually, let me use nerd fonts. So this is where I usually find fonts to use, and I'm using Cascadia Cove. This one right here. I guess I could copy the preview link. Maybe that would be helpful. Not a big fan of recursion. I find recursion difficult to understand and follow. Does not equal is pretty cool, to be honest. Oh yeah, sorry, I think OBS disconnected Artwork Studios. But we're back, according to OBS. Recursion would be my choice. Find first character, then see if next character is up, down, left, right, then call function again for next character. Yes, this is not a bad idea. I try to avoid recursive solutions myself. Okay, I think this needs to be flipped. I think we want to range over I think we want to range in the direction first. And if we get through all the characters in a particular direction, then we can say total plus plus. Although I think we're going to end up, I think in my solution though, I think I'm going to end up counting multiple Xmas's twice with this approach, right? Because theoretically, oh no, I won't, because I'm only looking at X's. So I think I should be fine. So what we'll do is we'll say next row, next column, next character. So this would be row plus direction Y. But I think we need to multiply this by the index, right? So no, we need to add, we need to add to this the index, right? So the first time we move in this direction, we just want to go one space out. But the next time we move in the direction, we want to go 2 spaces out. So if this is 0, I don't know. Dot x. But I think it needs, I think we actually need to do something with multiplication, not addition. So grid next row, and then grid next character, next column. We also have to cast this to a string. Okay, so let's think about this. So the first time through, I'm in this direction. I want to move by a single spot. So if direction is Y, I think this actually needs to be I think this needs to be times I plus 1 is what I think this needs to be. And if next character does not equal character, then we return. Okay, so let me just think through my solution here for a second. Hey Renee, what's up? Red velvet, ew. What's wrong with red velvet? Iterative, recursive, and cake. You forget about the entire problem and eat a piece of cake. That sounds like a lovely way to solve it. Coffee cake sounds even better. Okay, so let me just think about my solution here for a sec. So let's say we walk up to an X. And then let's say the first direction is moving up. So the first time we come through this loop, we're going to loop over in the up direction. And we're going to go up by, in this case, it would be, it's always going to be 1 or -1, right? No, sometimes it's going to be 0. Here, return the total. I'm just going to see if this is anywhere close to. Because like Pablo said, we're going to walk off. Sometimes we're going to walk off the end of the grid. Which means if next row is greater than or equal to g dot, or the length of the grid, or next row is less than 0, return. Otherwise, if next column is greater than or equal to the length of the first row, or next column is less than 0, we should return as well. Yeah, because basically we've walked off the edge of the grid, or the characters don't match in that position as we would expect them to. Pablo told me that. He was like, hey, you need to be careful not going off the edge of the grid. He said that twice, I think, to me, and I ignored him. Okay, so we got 2, wanted 18. Well, that's not good. So let me pull up the example puzzle, and let's just look at one of the cases here. So in this case, if we walk up to X, and let's say we're going to iterate down and to the right, right? So the first time we get here, we're going to start moving in this direction. So the next character here should be M. Then on the next iteration should be A. And then on the next iteration it's S. So I actually want to move, let's see, down and right. So that's +1, +1. Which is that how I have my direction set up? Down and to the right. +1, +1. That's what I want. So the next time I come through, so this should be 0. So 0 plus 1 times 1 should move me 1, okay? So then A should be 1. So it should be 1 times 2. Yep, that's right. Next row, next column. Well, coffee flavored ice cream cake sounds wonderful. Why are we talking about? Or I guess it's not 6 a.m. for everybody, but I was gonna say, why are we talking about dessert at 6 o'clock in the morning? All right, does anybody see what I might have done wrong here? Kanishka? Hello, Kanishka. How are you? Good to see you. We're currently struggling through advent of code problems. Dessert? You can eat cake for breakfast. Well, I guess you're right. You can eat cake for breakfast. I'll eat ice cream any time of the day. So will my kids. So will my kids. Dude, it's 7 a.m. and I just ate cake. Rules don't rule me. I love the anarchy. Pablo, return is a bit much. Oh, yeah, you're right. So I don't want to return. I just want to go to the next direction, right? So I want to break out of this loop. Like I want to go through all the directions. I just want to halt the character loop if we encounter an invalid case, I think, right? Yeah. Now we're 142. Okay, hold on. In Argentina, cake for breakfast is very common. Oh, really? Well, pastries, yeah, pastries I would say is very common in the States as well. I don't know about cake, though. Oh, you know what? I love Argentina. Why did you spell it like that? Argentina. It kind of sounds like a pirate. Kanishka, what is this for? So, Kanishka, the plan this year, or the plan for, if you never heard of it, there's a event that happens once a year called Advent of Code. I just put the link in the chat there. But Advent of Code is basically like 24 days of solving like kind of almost like leak code style problems. And the last 2 years I've done it in C#. And so this year I thought I would do it in Go. So in order to like prepare myself to do that, I've been spending the month of November learning Go for the first time. And also now I'm trying to practice solving old Advent of Code problems with Go. And Renee, you should be using continue, not break. Should I? But wouldn't continue in this? I'm saying it the Spanish way. Oh, nice. Kanisha. Ah, okay, good way to learn. Yeah, I think it's a good way to learn it. And at the very least, it'll at least give me an idea of how painful Advent of Code will be this year. Oh, sorry. No, you're fine. Yeah, no, you're fine. I don't think though I totally. So length of the grid. This is the number of columns. Long to monk. Hello? Monkey? I don't know how you say that. Monk or monkey? Break breaks out the loop. Continue skips the rest of the current loops and loops again. Yeah. And I think in this case, so what I'm basically trying to do is I'm trying to pursue in a particular direction the length of mass, right? So I'm trying to basically see, okay, in any particular direction from the current X, is there an M in the next spot? Monkey, yeah, how you doing? I'm doing good. Yeah, good to see you. I'm doing well. I appreciate the username. How's Jim? How's family? Ah, Jim is good. Family's good. Yeah. Pablo, have you tried the test input? Yes, I think that's actually the only thing I'm testing at the moment. Is the example input. Yeah. And right now it says I'm getting, with my current solution, I'm getting 152 instead of 18. Which doesn't, that seems not to make sense to me because there's not 152 spots in this thing. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's, what is that? 10 by 10, that's 100 spots. So it's saying I'm counting every... Oh, I know why. I know why. Or I think I know why. So if we go back to my main.go, the total... I shouldn't increment the total here, should I? Because, okay, so this function is going to run on every place in the grid. It's going to run on every place of the grid. Kyle, hello, Steven. I hope you're doing well. Your stream is good. This year is going to be my first time doing Advent of Code. Hello from Ireland. Hello to you. I wish I could visit Ireland one day. I appreciate your nice comments about my stream. I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm also doing Advent of Code. This will be my third time of doing it this year, but it will probably be as equally as painful as it's been the last 2 years. For whatever reason, my brain finds these types of problems very tricky. Debug output time? Yeah, something like that. For sure. Was once at an Irish pub in Beijing watching rugby. Traditional and atmosphere was so special. I've never been to Ireland, but I'd like to visit Ireland sometime. I think I have the right logic. I think I'm just not incrementing the total in the right place, right? So if we're, I think we do want to return. So I do think we want to return. We don't want to break. And the reason why I say we want to return is because if we encounter any of these conditions, no, we don't want it. We want to break. What we need to do is we really need to say, if we find a direction that has an Xmas from this X, we basically just want like a local total, right? We want like a local total to this function that says, let's just say local total, or let's say number of Xmas's found, which is going to be 0. And then every time we get through a direction successfully, we will have found an Xmas. Then at the end, we just want to add that to the total from the outer scope. I think this is better. Now we still got 152. Because it's basically the same thing. I just moved variables around. The issue you have is that your Xmas loop doesn't tell you if it broke or finished. Oh, you're right. You're right. So should we do, I guess we should have Xmas found like this. This is so ugly. I know there's a better way to write this code. Xmas found starts as true. And then if we encounter any of these cases, we'll just set it to false. This is, hide your eyes. Shield your eyes. Yeah. Or I guess I could do, yeah, we'll do Xmas found is false, and then we'll break. Then down here, we'll say if Xmas found at the end of that loop in this direction, if that is still true, then we'll increment the number of Xmas's found. Let's go. Oh my god, dude. Advent of code is gonna be so painful. Guys, I swear, if you guys decide to leave me behind in December because I cannot solve Advent of code quick enough, please. Please let me, I won't take it. I won't be offended. Pablo, why not the other? Yes, I think the other way around probably makes more sense. Then I don't have to repeat myself as much. No, Pablo gets the credit because Pablo identified he identified three things. So the first thing he identified was I was going to walk off the edge of the grid, which I did. Then the second thing he identified was that I was using returns instead of breaks. And then the third thing, so he's actually found like 3 bugs. And then the third bug was there was no indication that I had successfully made it through every character here. So thank you, Pablo. Appreciate you guys. The one thing though that I'm learning from all of this coding from the last like 3 days that we've been practicing is that I feel like I can say I do know Go. Like I do know how to write code in Go now. I don't know all of the things, like I don't know all the standard libraries and all the different methods that are available to me, but I can formulate functions and I can do if statements and you know what I mean? Like I can do the basics. So I think that's the goal, you know? You feel very exactly. So I'm feeling more comfortable in Go, right? And that was our whole goal. That was the whole reason to do these practice problems. I'm not going to make any promises when we get to the actual thing that I will be very good at this, but I feel like we are successfully executed on our objective, which is I think we're at a place where when we start the month of December, we will be able to focus on solving the problem and not so much learning the syntax, which was the main goal. So I feel like we're in a pretty good place. So I wonder what was part 2. I'm probably not going to do part 2, but what was part 2? The elf looks quizzically at you. Did you misunderstand the assignment? What? Looking for the instructions, you flip over the word search to find that this isn't actually an Xmas puzzle. It's an X-MAS puzzle. in which you're supposed to find two MAS in the shape of an X. One way to achieve that is like this. Irrelevant characters have again been replaced with dots in the above diagram. Within the X, each... Oh, hey, honey. Morning. Love you. In the above diagram, within the X, each must can be written backwards, can be written forwards or backwards. Here's the example from before, but this time, in this example, an Xmas appears 9 times. So literally, you're looking for MAS or MAS. Okay. This is the part that I remembered from last year. This is the part that I remember from last year. So this is actually fairly straightforward because you basically can just look at any A, and all you have to do is check these two spaces. You know what I mean? You basically just have to say, hey, this is an A, is up and to the left an M or an S, and is down an M or a, yeah. MAS. MAS. Yeah. I think that's pretty straightforward. Log2Monk, I realized I ignored some big questions that you put in the chat. So let me scroll back up and let me try to address those. So I'm in a dilemma. I need a second opinion. I'm working on a project where we utilize conversational AI through IVR solution to answer phone calls for customer service. The backend is going to be a microservice architecture, but I don't know if I should utilize gRPC or tRPC or just make it a GraphQL. Currently, I'm working on an MVP, so what do you think? Well, I've never used gRPC or tRPC, and I have very little experience with GraphQL. I've heard good things about GraphQL and microservice architecture from like a data retrieval standpoint, that it can simplify your data access across multiple services by just having like one single place that federates to all the underlying services, but I've never actually implemented that myself. So yeah, I hope that helps address those questions I missed earlier. Log2Monkey. Dude is a bug zapper. I missed that comment. Yes, he is. Log2Monk. My message got lost in the abyss. Yeah, sorry. I just completely missed it, and I apologize, Renee. But why was the return too much? Because it was executing. It was returning so early that we were basically how do I put this? We were returning out of the function that we were calling on each individual place in the grid, instead of continuing to look through every direction at that particular place in the grid. Wife is in the chat. Do this one to redeem yourself, Steven? Yeah. Yeah. Currently sticking with TypeScript because the other devs are all JavaScript developers. Nice, nice. Is it me, or is he trying to grow a mustache? Yeah, I just need to shave is what I need to do. Okay, I can learn backend now. Go for it, Artwork Studios. Start building some backends. Kelsey came to fight for no facial hair. Yeah, or she came to remind me I need to shave today. That's why I immediately called for the continue instead of the break, but it seems like, as Boris mentioned, that wouldn't work. Well, I think it would work because I think what Pablo pointed out, he was like, well, why not just invert this, right? So I could, what I could have done was I think I could have inverted this logic to be able to have Xmas be false and then if we successfully make it through this loop, we could turn it to true. Maybe, although I don't know. Sorry, chat. You guys started talking a lot, and then I was thinking a lot, so I kind of fell behind. So I apologize for the chaotic catch-up that I just did. Pablo, did you test with your actual input? Oh, I did not. I should probably test with the actual input. I didn't do that, Pablo. That's a good this is a good point. I did not test with the actual input. K Raj Fit. Hello, K Raj Fit. How are you? You doing well? Excuse me. I'm still yawning. I've had 2 shots of espresso and still the yawns continue. Let's see, part 1 was 2644. That's what I got last year. So we should do 2644 this year. Watch this break on me. Yes, I'm doing well. Show API key. No, we're not trying to leak API keys on stream. Okay, it did work. It worked with the real input. Pablo calling victory a bit soon. I got too excited that we finally figured it out. I usually do expected equals something. Oh, really? I feel like this reads more like what you would say. If my result doesn't equal what I expected. But I could do it either way. Yeah, either way would work for me. K-Rosh Fit, have you dabbled with AI agents? Yes. We actually built 2 tools this year. Well, I guess Casper was the only one that really we built on stream. But yeah, I've dabbled with AI, and I was part of our project at work to add AI to our solution. So, yeah, been around the AI space a bit. Not from the standpoint though of when I say working with AI, I mean it from like an application standpoint. Like I haven't actually built transformers or like done machine learning. You know what I mean? Like I've used LLMs in the context of applications, if that makes sense. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm over here doing the real work of building AI. Because you don't know the result when you are. Oh yes, what I usually do is I'll usually set expected to like -1 or something, some asinine solution, some asinine value. But in this case, since I know it, I stuck it in there. Pablo, link to the playlist. Oh yeah, I made a playlist that talks about Kelsey, like Optimus Prime. Yes, exactly like Optimus Prime. I wish AI was like Optimus Prime. That would be what we'd all hope for. Unfortunately, we seem to be a ways away from that. Yeah, so I made a couple videos, some simple videos that kind of walk over what AI agents are. I don't know where you are in your journey, so I don't know how helpful you'd find that playlist. But in terms of what model did I use, I did not use a self-hosted model. I think self-hosted models are kind of more of a party trick for the vast majority of people. To have a self-hosted model that this is the agents playlist here. Trying to destroy the other robot brand, yeah. Yeah, so I think self-hosted models are kind of a party trick, in my opinion, K-Raj Fit. I think You have to have a lot of good hardware, very expensive hardware, to replicate the level of service that you get from the current LLM providers, right? So when you talk to ChatGPT's API or Anthropic's API or um, the Gemini API, the latency is great, right? And so if you were to try to recreate that latency yourself, you would have to have some very expensive hardware. Is your playlist called Agents? No, the playlist is called An Agent in a File. But the idea behind it was basically to try to explain to people, basically to try to demystify a little bit what agents are. Because I think right now there's a lot of hype around agentic AI. People are trying to wrap it in like this perception that these are like these very intelligent creatures when they're not. It's just a lot of clever engineering. You know, you're trying to plug deterministic code. You're trying to marry deterministic code that an engineer wrote with the semantic understanding of an LLM, right? And you're just kind of sticking those things together. But like when you read stuff on the internet or you see some of the marketing hype that some of these companies are putting out, I think they kind of obscure the truth behind what an agent really is. K-Raj Fit. Self-hosted models are fine for very small projects where efficiency is not really important. I guess, but I mean it again, it's like if you don't have nice dedicated, like even just a dedicated graphics card, the latencies are slow, right? Like even if even when I use Olama on this machine doesn't have any dedicated graphics card, um, and it's slow, right? And so how you would host your own model using like Olama or Llama CPP for a project and the latency not be prohibitive, I'm not sure. I mean, you'd have to spend quite a bit of money. And it's like, well, why would you spend several $100s for a project that's you're not making any money off of, I guess? So, and the prices for the hosted models like Gemini's API, OpenAI's API, Anthropic's API, they're very cheap, you know? When you look at the cost per token, they're very, very cheap. He can run super small models on a $20,000 machine. Yeah, see, that's my problem. That's my problem. Whenever I run into anybody who's like, yeah, you can just self-host AI, self-host your own models. I'm not trying to be like a jerk about it. I just don't think it's actually as useful as people think it is. I think you can just hook up like 50 GPUs and hope for the best. Yeah. Yeah, but it's funny because most people I interact with on the internet who are trying to host their models, they don't even want to pay for a $5 virtual private server. So how are you going to pay for these GPUs to self-host your own LLMs? I, it doesn't make sense to me. That's why I say it's kind of a party trick. I think it's something people like to say you can do, and they do it like once and then they move on because it's not useful. It's really not useful beyond just being able to say you can do it. Open Router is good. You can use some of the LLM APIs for free. Nice. Yeah, I've heard about Open Router. Somebody else recommended that to me. Seems like a cool service. Definitely helps you abstract away the provider, for sure. I don't get the infatuation with running AI on your own hardware. I don't either. Again, it's like, do I think it's cool? Yes, but I think we're a ways away from it being very usable, unless you have what is it, an MPU or dedicated GPUs, right? Unless you're willing to spend the money on the chips, the dedicated chips. I just don't think it's very useful. To be honest, most of the time you don't need to host. I don't think so. Given the reliability and the speed that the APIs give you from the model providers themselves, I just don't see a good compelling reason to. Pablo, PewDiePie videos on AI show exactly your point, but he has the money so he can actually test these assumptions. Yes. Yes, and those videos are good. His videos are very good. Yeah, very good. But when he tells you what he spent on the hardware, you're kind of like, "What? You spent like half my year's salary to run this experiment?" PewDiePie actually prefers the local AI and the dumber models over the smarter models. Yeah, which is, yeah, if you're really concerned about the privacy and control and that sort of thing, then yeah, that's more important than the latency or the reliability, or maybe even the cost, right? If money's no object. Yeah, I think the protein folding part is there's like a project where you can rent out idle compute time to scientific research. I don't know the name of the project, but that's pretty cool. Cancel culture still remembers. Raj, many providers already have endpoints for OpenAI library so it can communicate. Yeah, I think what Open Router is doing is interesting. I think it's trying to solve this abstraction layer at the HTTP level, right? Trying to solve it at like the request level. I've been working with AI quite a bit in the Microsoft ecosystem, and they've been trying to solve that same problem by just having a common layer of language abstractions so that you can swap providers in and out in your code. So it's kind of interesting to see people tackle that issue of provider lock-in at the model layer through different means, right? Whether they're having one API endpoint and let the person who's providing the API deal with translating it all, or having like a library that deals with translating the different requests. Because every model provider's API is a little differently. They've all implemented function calling and tool calling a little differently. So you kind of have to massage things to make it all work nicely together. Then Pablo mentioned the AI SDK. That's probably the one a lot of people in the TypeScript and JavaScript world are using. Boris, that project has been going on for literal decades. I heard about it in middle school. I've heard about it before too, before the PewDiePie videos. I think it's a very cool project. See you, Arvin. Have a good day, man. All right, should we try to solve part 2 in 15 minutes? Yeah, we can give it a go. I think this actually might be in my head. I think this might actually be Okay, Raj, AI SDK. Which one? Google's? No, this is Vercel. What Pablo mentioned? Vercel AI SDK. I think this one's pretty popular. I've seen people on Twitter post about it a lot. There you go. I'll put the link to the docs there for you. Raj fit. Part 2 in 15 minutes feels like it can be done. Yeah, if I remember right from last year, this is a much simpler heuristic because you basically just have to find the A's, and then you only have to look in 4 directions: up, left, down, right, and you just have to. Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's see if it's actually as simple as Steven thinks it is. Solve part 2, file path string, return an int. We'll have the same kind of idea here. Same kind of idea, but just different implementation. So do that. We don't need up, down, left, right. We don't need any of those. We do need the current character, but in this case we care that it's an A. And then we'll still need to loop over the directions. Yeah, I think honestly, I think we can just change this loop, this inner loop, right? Um, although we kind of need to know. We kind of need to know if we're looking at check for M and S in opposite spots. Yeah. It's a collection of project that works off one framework. Is it still going on? You mean the are you talking about the PewDiePie protein folding thing? Is that what you're talking about, Renee? Okay, right. Thanks, bud. I primarily use Python, so I work with OpenAI, SDK, CrewAI, and LangChain. Those all sound fine too. I'm not really a Python guy myself. I pretty much avoid it. Boris, L2, R2, R1, L2, left, down, right, up, left, down, right, up. Yeah. Anyone here using Vercel? I have some stuff hosted on Vercel still. I saw Pablo's comment that Vercel did kind of get canceled there. Because their CEO kind of made a political statement that was very unpopular on Twitter. Lots of people were very angry about it. There are only 2 diagonals you can hardcode. Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think you're right. Xmas found? We looking for Santa? In this case, yes, we are. We're looking for Santa. Yeah, Artwork Studios. I would love whenever you finish your novel, man. Send it along to us. I think all of us would love to check it out. Okay, so you're saying what Pablo's saying is we can just say. We don't need this. We don't need this, I don't think. What you're saying is if for well, hold on. But I'd still need to check if I've gone off the edge of the map, right? Like that's still a case I care about. I just don't necessarily care about this. And I don't care about that. But I still care about these checks, right? I still don't want to walk off the edge. Waffleish, what's the challenge? So if you go to this website, I'll put it in the chat. If you go to AOC and then you go to year but instead of directions you can diagonal. Yes. Yes, I can. But the question is, how do I want to organize this? What I was going to say, Waffle, is if you go to AOC and you go to year 2024 and you go to day 4, part 2, that's the challenge we're doing. Essentially, you're kind of given like a word search grid that looks like this. And you have to find or in this case, in part 2, you have to find all the places where there's actually an MAS forming an X. Right? So we need to make sure if we find an M on the top left, we need to make sure that there's an S over here and vice versa. And then we need to do the same thing here. If we find an S here, we find an M here, so that it creates an X. So this would be 1. The other one is Bionic, Berkeley Open Infrastructure for Network Computing. Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about, right? We're talking about the shared compute for scientific research. 6-7. Hey, I got a question about linking a DLL I made into my WinUI 3 C++ project. I don't know if I'll be able to help answer that question, 6-7. That sounds um in the weeds for the type of programming and coding I usually do. I've also never done anything with C++. Allie the AI is still here. Good to see you. What will be the lore this year, I wonder? Yeah, I don't know, but the story's the best part. All right, thought I'd ask. Morning, by the way. Of course, yeah. Good morning to you as well. I wish I could be more helpful. I've never done anything with C++. So it would be like the blind leading the blind, which I would imagine is probably not helpful at all. Okay, let's see if I can. I've got 7 minutes. Um, so do I want a loop? I think I want a loop, right? I want up, left, down, right. Can I even do that? Can I even make an inline? AOC is at 2 a.m. my time. You mean when it like releases, when the puzzle releases? Doesn't anything Windows Visual related break down to common intermediate language? So you just use the windows.h header to call the Win32 API in your gravy? I have no idea. I've never worked with C or C++. I never like have been at like a really low level with the Windows APIs. And I've never actually done any development that it was explicitly targeting visual Windows APIs, right? Like I've never done WinForm development or anything like that. You want to try to speed run it, Pablo? Nice, that'll be fun. Yeah, that'd be very fun. What? Ali, there's a person who wrote the algorithm for YouTube who's streaming right now. Man, yeah, I'd like to know who that guy is. Who's that guy? I just joined Steven's Discord. Oh, yep, I'll approve your. You are approved. You're in, man. You're in. Ali the AI, they're modding right now? What? Pablo says he deserves a place in hell. I'll ask them to come over. Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I would. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to meet the person who wrote the YouTube algorithm. That's. I didn't even know that was a person. I thought that was probably like a team of people. All right, I'm just gonna. I'm actually going to do this in a very non-iterative way. Bring back the old recommends. Okay, so let's do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say if. Okay, so we want to check. Well, I do want to do this in an iterative way because I don't want to have to repeat myself to check if something's off the grid. You know? So I'm actually going to move this logic to like a helper function. Here's off grid takes grid. Then takes a row, takes a column, turns a boolean. This is going to return false. Return false. Gotta love developing to be. Yeah, I do. I like writing code. I like programming. Is on grid. Ew. Yep. You're right. But I think what I want to do is I want off. So is off grid. If either of these, it's true. And if it's either of these, it's true. Otherwise, it's false. So if is off grid, passing the G, passing the R, passing the C, then we gotta break. Well, I don't know what we're gonna do because we still need to figure out how to iterate over this. I know how to solve it, but like I want to solve it in a not ugly way. Talented Dead, what are you trying to develop? Oh yeah, we're basically just practicing writing Go. That's what we're doing at the moment. Oh shit, it's 7. Oh, it's Talented Dev. Are you the guy that wrote the YouTube algorithm? That's what Ali the AI is claiming. I imagine every legendary programmer to be like Terry A. Davis in real life. Yeah, I'm definitely not a Terry A. Davis level of programmer. All right, well, sounds like Talented Dev is busy, so it's 7 o'clock, which means I have to go upstairs. I have to get ready for work and actually leave my digital life to participate in my real life. We're going to be doing more of this, so if you enjoyed this and you like hanging out with us, you like my chat, This is our plan for like basically the rest of November. We'll probably also do some web development with Go, but essentially we're preparing to do Advent of Code 2025 using the Go programming language. So that's the whole point of the next few streams in November, and then all the streams at the beginning of November will hopefully involve me successfully solving Advent of Code puzzles. Talented Dev. I helped develop the YouTube algorithm, but I mainly work in aerospace and defense. If you can show the whole code, I might be able to help. Nice. So Talented Dev, is there any place I can find your work? Because claiming to develop the YouTube algorithm is a pretty big claim. You know? Yeah, also please join the Discord. Yes, please join the Discord. We would love to talk. We would love to talk to you. I'll put the link in the chat. All right, guys. I'm going to run. Yeah, or GitHub. We'd love to know what your GitHub is. I'm gonna run. I'll be back tomorrow for more of this. Let's do the normal housekeeping stuff. So if you want to interact with me or chat outside of stream, the best place to find us is at the Discord link I just put in the chat. As far as schedule, if you're new here, my schedule is 4:15 to 7 a.m. Central Time almost every day. I try to be here in the chair. I will join your Discord. Nice, yeah. Get in there. I'll approve you once you submit your app. So yeah, so I'm normally live 4:15 a.m. to 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Sometimes on the weekends I go a little bit later. I'm primarily a .NET and TypeScript programmer, coder type of person. But we decided we would take on Go as a new programming language for Advent of Code. So that's why my stream the last 15 days and the next 30-ish days is going to be kind of centered around Golang. All right. With that, I'll leave y'all. Talented Dev, thanks for joining our Discord and stopping by to grace us with your presence. And Pablo, appreciate all your help this morning, man. Coming in clutch. Artwork Studios. Also, Stephen, when did you get your pupper? Oh, we got him a long time ago, before my kids were born. So he's probably, my oldest son is 9, so we probably had my dog for 10 or 11 years. He's been around for a long time. All right, see you, Pablo. See you, Renee. Thanks for the stream. Of course, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging out with me, keeping me company. Appreciate y'all. We should do some days you haven't even attempted, by the way. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, we could actually go to, I didn't do part 2 of 17 or any of 18, 19, 20. Yeah, so we could also do some of those days. We should do that next. Day 18, maybe, we can do tomorrow. All right. Bye, chat. Bye, Renee. Bye, Artwork Studios. Bye, Pablo. Bye, Talented Dev. Bye, 6-7. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. If it's already Tuesday for you, have a great rest of your Tuesday. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, or maybe in the comments of a stream or a video. All right. Bye, guys. Bye. See you, Kyle. Bye, chat. Bye, y'all.